All right. Well, listen, we know you've got plenty on your plate today. The 1 year anniversary of Kobe was yesterday.
That's today, 26th.
It is today. It is today. Is it? We'll kind of let you go on this. I mean, it seems like I was down at I surprised my parents last year. They were in Florida and surprised them and was down in Florida just hanging out with them for a couple days, stole a couple days during the college basketball season when it happened. And it seems like years ago now. It seems like absolutely does not seem like a year ago. It seems like more than that.
Well, it's pre-COVID, and that has just changed our entire feel for everything in life.
Where were you, Mark?
I was actually home, and my youngest son, I actually had just finished pinch coaching his. He was on a club soccer team, and they had an indoor game, and I stepped in for the coach that morning. So I had just coached him. My wife was the team manager, and so came home and got that news, and I will never forget that feeling. And like a lot of people, I think all around the league, people, you still can't believe it. A year later, it still just does not compute. It has not sunk in. I mean, this guy was such a mammoth presence. I was a Laker beat writer when they drafted him. And that's the thing, he was 17 when the Lakers drafted him. And so the young Kobe is what always sticks with me most. Having been there when he just got there. And, I was 24 when I started covering the league. I was only 27. So Kobe was the first player I ever covered in the NBA that I was actually 10 years older than. I mean, he really was such a kid. And just to think that there were 3 teenage girls on that helicopter, and that's the part that I can't shake that. I can't.
Was there a Kobe story before we let you go? Was there one? I'm sure you've written about it, but to hear you talk about, was there one moment that you'll always remember?
I mean, as a player, from his very first press conference, from his very first summer league game, there has never been someone more confident and more certain that he was going to be an all-time great than Kobe Bryant. And from age 17, he believed he was destined to be, every ounce the player that he became. I mean, selfishly speaking, what was huge for me, I actually so I was the Laker beat writer for the LA Daily News, and the Kobe's first season was also Shaq's first season. By the end of that regular season, I got the job offer to go to Dallas to the Morning News. And in those days, the Dallas Morning News was just a titanic newspaper. I mean, it was massive. The way they covered sports, Dave Smith, the editor, actually came from the Boston Globe, so Bob knows him well. I mean,
Yes.
The Morning News was just, on Sundays, their sports section would be 2 or 3 separate sections. I mean, I had to take the job, and everybody with the Lakers thought I was nuts. They're like, you are leaving the Laker beat to cover the Dallas Mavericks, who at the time were the NBA laughingstock. And I said, no, I'm leaving the LA Daily News to go to the Lakers of newspapers. That's how good Dallas Morning News was. But just having covered Kobe those first 9 months of his career, I actually left and had to take the job before the playoffs even started. So April 97, I go to Dallas. But from that first 9 months, Kobe never forgot that I was there from the beginning, and he always made time for me when in the next 20 odd years, and so for me, I always greatly appreciated that just having been, I was there enough at the beginning that he remembered that. And when he would come to Dallas, I would always get, a few one-on-one minutes with him, which, now it was hard to make it happen then. It's near impossible, now. No, I still, I marvel whenever I see Bob and I think of the Paul Westphal finals story. I don't know if any of us will ever be topping that one.